So it looks like the Spider-Man universe is getting a reboot of a sorts. Um, for anybody who follows comic book movies, we've all been aware of what the Spider-Man Sony universe has been, right? If it wasn't for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, them working with Marvel to get him off the ground and integrate him with the Avengers and things like that, I ain't no telling how bad these could have been, right? But so basically, according to this article here, Tom Rothman. If anybody's unfamiliar with Tom Rothman, he's with Screen Rant. He was, of course, on a podcast, The Town, and says Sony Universe of Marvel characters, which include a plethora of well-known Spider-Man villains, will be getting retooled. When asked about the future of the franchise, Rothman confirmed that they would go back to the well for a fresh reboot with new people. That's really interesting. And if you look here, down on here, there's a chart. And if you guys look, this is what each movie profited, right? Venom was really, truly the only successful one of the bunch here, bringing in, nearly 900 million. Venom 2 brought a little bit over 500 million. But then you look at some of these other ones here. Morbius, 167 million worldwide. Madam Web, $100 million worldwide. I mean, they probably paid Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney just that to just play in the movie. Venom: The Last Dance. So Venoms were usually 500 and up, right? But the Venom: The Last Dance didn't do as fair as well as the first two. And then Craven, which was just awful, $62 million. They probably paid Aaron Taylor more than that to play in the movie. So this has always been the problem, my opinion, when it comes to this Spider-Man universe, right? You just have some characters that just don't work well standalone, and that's just fact. Venom, they were able to make it work, and it was good, especially the first one was good, right? And then they kept going on and on with it, right? Morbius, it was the point of that. Morbius was a Spider-Man villain. Why make a movie? Madam Web, same thing. Craven was like an anti-hero. He'd show up from time to time, but he was a villain for the most part. So I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to milk their IPs as much as they could, especially the Spider-Man. What they can hold on to is the Spider-Man universe. But they fumbled pretty hard. Is an understatement. They fumbled when it came to this universe. So I'm curious how they're going to go and how they're going to revamp it in a way. Basically, we got Spider Noir coming out, which actually looks pretty damn good. If it's as any good as the trailer was, I expect that to be a good bright spot for Sony in its Spider-Man universe. But they got to do more things like that. Stop trying to go after these villains and trying to make movies out of these villains. It just doesn't work. It just really doesn't work ever. So really interesting. Really interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good idea for Sony to try to salvage anything they possibly can, from this universe? Honestly, they need to work with Marvel. They just need to do it right. They need to work with Marvel. They got Spider-Man. He's going to continue. Tom Holland's Spider-Man's staying on. He's going to be around for a few years. We're going to get another one after this, I'm sure. Honestly, I just don't think there's any hope for where they're going. If they're going to try to do the same thing again, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. There's just certain characters that are just not meant to just have an entire movie about them. It's fact. Could they do some series? Maybe they can make those things work. I don't know, but really interesting to see. But let me hear your guys' comments down below. What do you think about this? Do you think Spider-Man's universe do you think it's a good idea for them to do this? Do you think it's just a bad idea? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Hell, what did you think of the previous universe, right? Did you like Craven? Did you like Madam Web? Did you like the Venom movies, Morbius even? I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't got a chance to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, man. Appreciate all the love. And then, of course, don't forget to like the video too.